Hello loves. Hi. I guess welcome to Why Am I Like This Wednesday. My last 2 weeks I pretty much just posted whatever I shared on my Instagram or my Snapchat stories. I've been a little not all there, and I'm gonna try to do this in about 15 minutes max, hopefully 10-15 minutes. It's not going to be a long one. I'm still trying to gather myself. I'm going to try to do it without crying. As you've already seen, if you've seen the last two, I lost my grandfather, who raised me, who was like a father to me, January 22nd. I got his death certificate 2 days ago, and it says that time of death was 10:30. I called him at 10:21 in the morning that day, and he didn't answer. And the weird thing is, I remember when I was calling, I thought to myself, he never doesn't answer my call. But because I was calling to ask for a favor, I felt guilty to like bug him because maybe he was busy with my grandmother. So I just said, you know what, maybe I'll go to their house and I'll surprise them, because I was in Orange County. And I ended up telling myself, nah, just leave them alone, let them chill. You're gonna see him on Tuesday. And it was on a Monday, because I was planning on, I had things that I was gonna start doing. I'll start being in Orange County a little more, and I figured, let me just do that. Let me just see him on Tuesday like we originally planned we were gonna do last Thursday and Friday that I spoke to him. So right whenever you think you have time, you don't. It's just so, you don't. I thought I had not necessarily all the time in the world, but I definitely didn't think that the time was going to be cut this short. He ended up dying from cardiac arrest, heart disease. I guess it's something that he's had for a while. And my grandfather was he was vegan, he was all natural, he had been that way for over 40 years. He was all about holistic healing and anything that was homeopathic. It was just no gluten, no soy, no, like, just, he's been like that since I could remember. I was raised that way till I was about 13 years old. Now, this is my grandfather who, like I said, he's raised me since I was about 1.5. They took me to Puerto Rico, and I lived there with him and my grandmother. If you hear me refer to him as my dad, it's because I called him dad. I'm surprised I'm able to even talk for longer than 2 minutes talking about him without crying. I'm sitting in my car on a break waiting for my kids to get out of school, because today we say goodbye to my grandmother. She is going to Puerto Rico, which is bittersweet. Bitter because I'm not going to see her anymore, and the only way that I'll be able to see her is if I go to Puerto Rico. And financially, I'm not sure when that day will come, because my family and I is a family of 5. So how do you I don't even want to, like, just going to Puerto Rico with a family of 5. I mean, we'll always have a place to stay. Food really won't be a big issue. But I don't want my kids' first experience going to Puerto Rico to be stuck in a house to hang out with grandma. Like, I would like them to appreciate it and be okay that that's it. But we haven't taken like a vacation like that ever. So I don't want to make that experience for them where they're just like, wow, we got to go to the island and we're Puerto Rican and we know a handful of things different out here, you know? Like, I really want them to enjoy that experience. So it's gonna be, we're all gonna go over there, we're all gonna tell her goodbye. I have been dealing with a lot of family dysfunction, chaos. It has opened my eyes to, like, you know, when you have those relatives that don't like you, they've never really liked you, but there is no real genuine reason as to why they don't like you. Well, since they haven't liked me since I was a child, since I could remember, my aunt and an uncle of mine, during this time, I was very angry, I was hurt, because less than 24 hours after he passed away, they were digging through all of his things and getting rid of all of his things. And I thought to myself, how are you sitting there saying that you're doing this for your mother, which is my grandmother, but you're not giving her time to just accept the fact that this is going to be her new normal. You're not giving her time to fully receive or understand that she is never going to see her life partner, who they were with for over 50 years, married. She's never going to see him again. And you just want to get everything done. Like, why? You're not leaving until the 24th of March, of February. So what is the rush? Not doing anything for 2 to 3 days is okay. But, some people feel the need to have control, and it's really unhealthy. Because I don't feel that there was a need for that, the rush. I felt that the rush was to get rid of him, or the idea of him, or just, I don't know. Like, I remember saying, why do we have to rush? Why is all of this being done right now? And I didn't have time to just be sad. And immediately, an aunt was just very, very mean to me. Very mean, very hateful, very evil. To the point where she was not happy that I had power of attorney over my grandmother and my grandfather. And uncle was upset because he said that it wasn't my grandfather's place to even suggest for those documents to be created. And it's just, it was malicious. What an uncle and an aunt, the other ones didn't care. Really, the other ones, if anything, were like, we know that Brandy took care of everything. We know that they trusted Brandy to take care of everything. And what my uncle didn't understand, and I tried to explain it to him, is she didn't trust you guys, okay? And I don't know another nice way to say it. And I tried to say it to him when he says, well, they should have, I'm really upset with him. Okay, you're upset with someone who's dead, but okay. Why don't you sit down and talk to your mother? Because she has dementia, but she's still pretty aware. Why don't you sit down and ask her why she signed that paper? Because of this. Because of how you guys are acting. This is exactly why it was created. And I remember saying that to him when he asked, why would he think it's okay to do that? We're her kids. He should have asked us. Well, for one, he doesn't have an obligation to you guys. In reality, you're his stepchildren. You're not his biological children. He doesn't really have an obligation to me. He chose me to be that person for them. My grandmother chose me to be that person for them when she wasn't really going through her dementia and her memory loss. She was very much aware and coherent when she filled it out and signed it. And I explained it to them as detailed as possible, and they 100% trusted me. So when he asked me that, I just said, he doesn't owe you that. And if you feel that he did, you have to understand that I'm what he would consider their child. They both raised me. You are her children from her first marriage. He has children from his first marriage, but I'm the one that they raised together from 1.5 years old until now. They weren't raising me anymore after I was an adult, but I was still involved in their life. I was still the one who paid their bills, who took care of their paperwork, who scheduled doctor's appointment, who checked with doctors, who got medical records. My grandmother always put me as the person who would handle all the decisions whenever she got any major surgery. My grandfather always looked to me to be the one that would take care of all of that. And we have an aunt. I have an aunt in Puerto Rico, my Aunt Vicky, who is very much capable of doing all of that, and they 100% trust her, but she's in Puerto Rico. So there had to be someone that needed to be trusted until she comes. And they knew that I would have no problem handing over everything to her because she's amazing. She's an aunt that I care for, and she's great. And I have my other aunt who mentally isn't fully there, which she's the oldest, and she would have been able to just she would have put everyone in their place. I'll tell you that much. If my grandmother was fully here, she would have put everyone in their place. And I miss that. Like, I'm sad. And even my aunt from Puerto Rico and I, when we were talking, she was like, I just wish my mom was fully there, because she would tell everybody to shut the hell up, and she's going to do what she wants. And when they're doing things and they're disguising it with, I'm doing this for my mom. No, you're not. You're doing it because you don't want me to handle it. You're doing it because you are that bothered by me, that jealous of me, that... And maybe you're not jealous of me. Maybe there is no jealousy. I just don't. So there was a quote that I read today, and it says that jealousy, when people are jealous of you, it's not necessarily the material things that you have. It's they just don't want you to have it. And I think that was the case with my aunt and my uncle. I feel that they just don't want me to have that power. They don't want me to have that control, which I would always be considerate and ask them, like, hey, what is it that you want to do? And the worst part of all of this, when I decided to just step back and only handle the things for my grandfather, is I was the one getting phone calls asking for all the information. Hey, Brandy, what is this? Or hey, Brandy, what does mom usually do with this? Oh, hey, Brandy, what does your dad usually do with this? Or what is this? And it's like, why do I know all the answers? Because I'm the one who took care of everything. Like, and I know during this healing process, I'm going to need to learn to let that go. I'm still very angry, like very angry. So furious, frustrated, disappointed, but not at the same time. It's almost like I didn't expect anything less, but at the same time I did. I felt that because of the situation and the circumstance, the toxic individuals would see things clearer for that I don't know what I was thinking. My uncle was very upset. He just brought up like a scenario, and we were talking, and I was telling him, like, this is ridiculous. Why do I have to go through this? Why is everybody trying to compete with me? This isn't a competition. I just want to make sure that no one touches my dad's things and I have an opportunity to go through it. And no one's giving me that. And because grandma is their mom, you guys are not it's not fair. Well, this is for my mom. And he continued to say, which hurt me, she is our mom and she is your grandmother. Even though she raised you, she is our mom. And the first thing that I thought to myself was, really? Was she your mom every single time she needed help? Was she your mom every single time she needed someone to take her to do things? Was she your mom when she needed help paying bills and doctor's appointments and money when she was in Puerto Rico and she needed money? Was she your mom? She wasn't. So why is she your mom now? Like, that's fine if you want to take care of certain situations and certain things. But to sit there and use that as a defense for your poor behavior it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's petty. Oh, it's so petty. And I need to accept that that's who my family is. And I think for the longest time, while my grandmother and my grandfather were still like here, my grandmother won't be here anymore after this Saturday, I stayed in that connection with my family because my grandmother raised me to where it was, blood is thicker than water. That's still your, that's still your mom. That's still your aunt. That's still your uncle. That's still your cousin. That's still your brother. Like, you have to, and it was always, you have to. And, the more therapy I've had, the more healing I've done for myself, I've realized that they're related to me, not by choice. And I have a choice to remove myself from them. I have a choice to remove my good energy and who I am as an individual away from them, because I don't deserve to be treated that way. And I deserve better. I'm not the same person I was when I was a child. and the child that they treated poorly and made to feel that she wasn't accepted and that she wasn't wanted, that child is still healing right now. However, I'm an adult now, and I could tell you guys to fuck off. I won't, because my grandma raised me better than that. But what I will do is I will set boundaries, and I will remove myself, and I don't owe you an explanation, and I don't have to talk to you, and my kids don't have to talk to you, and my kids do not owe you an explanation. And that's something that I've had to talk to my kids about, and I spoke to them today, and I said, I'm going to let you know that you do not have an obligation to give respect to the adults that will be there today if they don't give you that respect. And the first thing they said was, "Whoo, Mom, thank you. I'm so glad you said that." And I says, well, I've always told you guys that. They've always known that. But at the same time, I've always said, like, if you don't like them and you don't want to be around them, just stay away, or I won't take them to things. Like, I would avoid certain things and places that they may not want to go to avoid certain relatives. And no, I'm not doing that anymore. I want my kids to have a backbone, the backbone that I did not have when I was their age. Like, you're not obligated to give anybody a hug or a kiss or say bendición. You don't owe anybody anything. And they immediately told me, well, we don't care for that person and we don't care for this other person, and we're not okay with how they've been treating you. I was like, okay, well, you're entitled to feel that way. 100% you're entitled to feel that way. And there's a possibility there, like I said, tune in next week where you will see what ends up happening. However, I am not going to obligate my children to respect someone who does not respect their mother, who has shown their great grandfather, who was my dad, my grandfather, any respect after he died. No. And I am okay with my kids doing whatever it is that they need to do to be comfortable with the situation that they had no choice in. However, they have mom and dad are going to be there for sure. So, like I was saying, my daughter's in the car right now. We are going to be headed we're going to be headed home, and then they're going to, I don't know if they're going to change or get ready, and then we're just going to head out. I want to get it done with, almost like rip it off.
Oh yeah, Mom,
like a Band-Aid.
Also, thank you so much for the Starbucks this morning. I felt really special. Made me feel really happy. And think about it right now, I'm gonna cry. Ew.
Aww, capture the moment. It did?
Yeah, made me feel really special. Thank you.
Honey, you're welcome. Oh, you're
my God,
welcome,
you're
Nugget. My arm is hot.
Your faces.
So I try to do little special things for my kids to let them know that I'm always thinking about them. And this morning I got my baby girl. She's my baby girl. She's my baby. She is my last little girl. Then I have my oldest, and then I have my youngest, which is a boy. Like, I'm so blessed and so grateful. But there goes my oldest. So I'm going to end it with, we are going to try our best in being as healthy and non-toxic as possible around toxic individuals. And my kids are very much aware. Who was that?
I don't know. Oh, he was.
I
think he's like a special ed teacher or something.
Okay. Yeah, he is very pretty.
Really pretty.
And my kids are aware that they are able to express themselves and set boundaries, and they have my mom, myself, and my husband there. Yeah. So they have nothing. That's my oldest. So I'm feeling very anxious. I am feeling already physically exhausted and mentally exhausted, and it's because I'm preparing myself to be around negative energy and negative individuals and toxic people. And I was a little bothered when my cousin sent me a message and said, could you do me a favor and not cry in front of grandma? I didn't respond because I'm not, how are you going to tell me, the person who's been around her more than any other person in my family, literally I've been around her and my grandfather more than anybody else has ever been around them consistently. No, you can't. How are you going to tell me not to cry when that's going to most likely be the last time that I could physically touch her and hold her? No, you don't get to tell me not to cry. And then she said, pass it on to your children. Well, as much as I appreciate what she's trying to do, because she said, I want it to be happy times. Well, I wanted to be respected through this entire process, and nobody cared about what I wanted. And my grandmother does not care if I cry. She does not care if my kids cry, even though she has dementia. It's not going to hit her that way. And I know because I've been around her since she's been having it, and no matter how I was feeling, whatever emotion I was going through, she was able to be there for me as much as she could in her state of mind. And I'm gonna hug her, and if I cry, I cry, and if my kids cry, they cry, and I don't want to hear one person tell me don't cry, because I don't know how I'm gonna react. I am, out of respect for my grandmother, and only my grandmother, going to try to be as respectful, and not to, there's a lot of anger that I have, and this is definitely going to be the Lord testing me, because I'm going to have to still contain my anger and resentment, because it's not conducive to the situation at all. It's not healthy. However,
I've kind of missed this car, so I can put my arm down.
As much as you guys want me to change this car and get a new one, now that you guys actually missed my car. This is why I love my car. I know it's old.
Well, you're not going to get a 3-seater with no back seats, are you?
No.
Exactly.
The new one that I'm going to get, no. But it's going to be a while.
Get a new sedan. Yeah.
But anyways, I digress. Distractions with my children.
Yeah, with your seatbelt off.
I need to recognize that this is going to be an emotional situation, and
She's leaving tomorrow, right?
she's leaving Saturday.
Oh.
But this was the only time, because they're going to be taking her to that person's house on Thursday.
Who?
You know.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying it on here. Because, if I say any names or mention anything specific, how dare I and how could I and all of that, How about you don't be an asshole? And when people talk about you, they're not going to say that you're an asshole. I don't know. That's just an idea.
Shoot me.
Wait, what?
I said that. Thank you, Mom. That was awesome this morning.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Like, it was a great start to my day.
Right?
Nani said that too.
Oh, when I seen you, okay, so when I woke up, I didn't see you, and I was like, where did this girl go? And I was on, the restroom, and I your this girl just decided to go to the gym or something? Like, what is she doing?
Oh, when I was gone this morning?
But then I seen that Alec was in here. Okay, so your bed had a pillow in it, and I was like, I yelled Alec, and it didn't move or anything, it's sleeping. And so I go to the pillow, thinking it was him. I smacked it, and I was like, I was like, it's a pillow. Walking over to the bed, I was like, it's a pillow. I smacked it, and I was like, what? I was like, where is Alec? But I was like, oh, he probably went to school. So I was tripping this morning.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. Yep.
So, long story short, which that doesn't happen with me, I am going to do the best that I can, and I will come back and we will talk about how it went. Praying and hoping that it goes well.
Oh, Mom. And so I'm kind of being like a new person and doing little funny story times on my TikTok and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so people mentioned it to me, and then they started laughing in a group. and like it made me feel really insecure, right? But then I'm like,
Why were they laughing?
they were like, because I didn't know if they were genuinely being mean or not, but they were like, oh my god, those the TikTok story time you did was cute, and I was like, which one? I did too. And then they were like, oh, you did too? And then started laughing, and I was like,
Well,
I just sat there. I was like, okay, like, it's not gonna bother me. Like, go ahead, laugh, ha ha. So funny. So then I was like, it's not gonna bother me. Like, I'm not gonna let that bother me. So I'm just
Which you shouldn't.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna continue to do what I do because that's what I do. I'm gonna continue to do story times because just because you 3 people don't like it doesn't mean my friends don't like it.
I mean, they
Doesn't
might
mean my
like
cousins
it,
don't
but
like
you may have read too much into what they did, because it could have been like, oh shit, she did 2 of them, and like laugh out loud because they didn't know which one you're talking about. Like, there's so many different ways and
No, I know
that
those
it
people.
could go.
They aren't like that. They're all haters.
They're all negative.
All haters. And so I'm gonna continue to do it because there's this one girl. I'm inspired by this one girl. Stop. I'm inspired by this girl I watch every day. She's so funny. She needs to post every single second of the day. But she's so cool, and she's a high schooler. She has like 2 million followers on
2 million?
TikTok. Yeah.
And she's a high schooler?
Yes, she's so funny. I will show you her videos. She's like, oh my god, I love her so much. She's so funny. I'll show you right now. Yeah, she's really cool. I don't even know her though, like personally, but I like, she's so cool.
sorry, the lighting right here is so fucking perfect right now.
This girl,
Shut up.
she's so funny. Like, she does regular story times.
How I will cut people off for doing me so dirty and like treating me so terribly.
I love
And
her.
then 2 months later, I'll be like, "Yo, where you been at? What happened to us, dog?" Like, yeah, she burnt my house
She's
down.
so
But that's
relatable.
gay. Like, what do you mean? Did they lie to make
That's so
their
toxic.
friends sound bad? I lie to make them sound good. Those are the kind of friendships I've had. I'll be like, "Yeah, she saved my dog from a burning building, so we just kind of reconnected." Whole time I hit him up on Roblox. It's a sickness, okay? And it's not even like I just
It's
want
not
more friends.
healthy.
Like, I actually have plenty of friends, whether you want to believe that or not. Like, you know how women's brains make them forget childbirth so that they'll do it again? That's kind of...
Okay, so like I was saying, it's a little different. I might cut some of the things out with my kids in there, but then I might not, because this is motherhood, this is life. Why is this shadow just emphasizing on my goddamn chin? Like, can we not? Let me do this. Is this gonna make it better? I mean, I know I have it, but can we not? Like, oh my god, I might edit that part out. But anyways, it's still pretty. It's still pretty, and I don't care. You know, I'm going to accept that this is what is, and this is the new normal for me right now. I'm so proud of myself for not crying through this video. I've been trying to distract myself, but at the same time, I have a lot of blessings headed my way, and I know they're coming, and I'm manifesting, and the things that are coming up and that have been happening for me are things that I was manifesting before. And when I say manifestation is a thing, it's a thing. Like, even when I was doing like the money chants, like, you know, like I would randomly get it. Like, I got a random check in the mail from unemployment that they owed me money from like 2017. Okay. So, it was $1,100. Oh, my husband's here. Sorry. Where we live, like, parking really sucks. So I was in my car. Yeah, you already know that. And I saw him like coming, and I guess he just sent me a text, and he's like, I was coming to pick you up. And I was like, yeah, no, I'll use our parking that's closer to the house, and you could park here. Okay, love you, bye. Okay, so I'm not gonna look this flawless the next time, because right now I did my makeup. I have an amazing primer that I got from Ulta, but I have a filter on because I'm doing this on my Snapchat, and then I'm just gonna save a whole bunch of them because I wanted to use a filter today. And I don't know how to do it on regular recording. Didn't filter this shit out though. I should be nice to myself. Okay, but like I was saying, Manifesting works. It works. It may not happen in the exact time that you want it, but if you continue to feel, okay, you can't manifest things and then question what you're manifesting, or even talk negatively to yourself while you're manifesting things. Like, that's what I had to continue to tell myself. Like, I can't do a little money manifestation saying and continue to tell myself it's not going to happen. You're not going to get it. It's not going to, like, get out of your negative mindset. It is hard. Oh, it's so hard because I'm negative all the time. And I'm not negative towards people. I'm negative about myself and what I feel that I don't deserve, or it's not going to happen, or I'm that kind of person who feels like worst case scenario, glass is half empty, not half full. Like, I'm just working on my mental health. Okay. We're working on it. That's what we're doing right now. This is why we're eliminating people from our lives. So once my grandmother is officially gone, which for me today will be the last day, I'm cutting people off and I'm removing myself. And I don't know if I've already said that or not, but I'm repeating myself. I know that I need to move on. I know that life goes on without my grandfather in it. However, it's a different, what my life looked like for me. At one point I had, I guess, kind of a vision, which they say you should never do that, of what my life was going to be like. Especially with the things that were coming up and the ideas that I was having and what it is that I wanted to do. I finally just said, you know what, live your purpose. Do the things that you're good at naturally. Do the things that you naturally gravitate towards. Help people. I've always helped people. I've always loved to help people. I've always wanted to be there for people. Mental health has always been important to me. Nutrition has always been important to me. Fitness has been really important to me. And even though, like, my depression and my anxiety and my panic attacks and what I'm going through has always shown on my outside person, it doesn't mean that those things aren't important to me and don't continue to be important to me. I just put myself on the back burner. But if anybody was to message me and say, hey, I need your help, what's the, how do I meal prep, or what should I meal prep, or what workout should I do? I still, till this day, have so many friends and relatives and people that know what I'm capable of and the knowledge that I have, and they will still message me, and they don't sit there and say, well, I'm not going to ask her because she gained a lot of weight and she's not all there right now. No, they still ask me because they know that just because I've let go of myself and what I've been going through, I hate that thing. Sorry. That doesn't erase the knowledge that I have and what I've taught myself. I know what I need to do for myself. However, I've noticed that this time around, it's more hormonal because I know I'm older. I know my body doesn't have certain levels, which would help with burning fat and all of that stuff. But I've never struggled this hard in my life to lose weight, like, ever. I know I've never been in my 40s either, but holy cow, this is just, it's way more than it's ever been. So the vision in my head that I had of what life was going to be like after this new little chapter journey that I'm doing for myself, my grandfather was supposed to be in it. And you know what? Honestly, maybe he wasn't. Maybe he wasn't supposed to be in it. I don't want to think that way because it makes me really sad. I wish he was here. I want him here. I'm going to miss my grandmother tremendously. But I think I'm also going to be able to have a weight lifted because I've always had a small part inside of me that made me feel like just hold on to your family as much as you can. Just hold on to them, because no matter how I feel towards them or how they feel towards me, I still love them and I still wish them the best. And for some people who know what they have done to me, they're like, dude, how do you even care about people like that? And I do. It's just who I am. I still had a weird form of love for my biological father even after he molested me for 3 years. I was really sad that he died when he died. Mainly because I wanted to confront him, but also because there was still a small part of me that wanted to have any form of relationship with him, even though he did that to me for 3 years. I don't know if I would have been able to hug him or be next to him like that, but I think I could be like on the other side of a room, or like when you're visiting someone in the hospital and you're a little further away on a chair and just talk. So when that possibility, when I felt like it was taken from me instead of like giving me the option, I was devastated. So I don't necessarily know if I was sad because I think I was sad because of the potential of what I thought could have happened. And you shouldn't live your life that way. It's easier said than done when you have a toxic way of thinking. I'm still in that fight or flight mode. I'm still in that I have to unlearn learned behavior that I needed and used to survive the life that I had. And it's really hard. It's constant work. You have to dedicate time to yourself in order to unlearn that behavior. And it's exhausting. And I will say, for the most part, it's pretty overwhelming. You forget that there's so much trauma that you went through because you tried to just shove it all down, that there's so much healing, and you're like, yo, I feel like I've been on this healing journey forever. Is it gonna stop? I'm here to tell you, no. You'll get better, but it'll never go away. And that's okay. I just have to learn how to accept that and be okay with that. But, you know, I'm gonna do good. I'm gonna be fine. I don't know how, but I know I'm gonna be okay. Especially now that I will say I have an amazing guardian angel. And I know he's gonna watch over me. And it's hard to accept that the things that the next chapter and the things that are going to be happening to me and going on, he's not going to be there. It's also really hard for me to accept that I'm not going to hear his voice anymore. I do have recordings though, and that I'm not going to touch him, kiss him, hug him. We're not going to have like those political debates that we used to have between each other. When someone is such a large part of your everyday life, having them no longer be a part of that is an adjustment. And what I want to say is this is definitely another lived experience among all the other ones that I've lived and experienced. I am sorry for anybody who's lost someone that they were this close to. It doesn't have to be a parent. It could be an extended family member. It could be someone that you grew up with, just someone that you were close to, you cared a lot about, and that you were involved in their life as much as they were in yours. I'm sorry for your loss. I never thought that I would say, it's an experience that you can't explain fully. And the only people who will understand are the people who've experienced. I think everyone or a lot of people have experienced some form of loss. Losing a parent is a certain kind of loss. Losing a child is a certain kind of loss. Losing a cousin is a certain, I feel like each one is different, but what's also different is the relationship you had with that individual that you lose. And it doesn't matter what their title is. It matters who they were to you and what they meant to you. And I know this is going to be really hard for me. And for a while, most of my Why Am I Like This Wednesdays are probably gonna be about how I'm dealing with this process, along with some of the things that, you know, I've been working on. And there's a lot. I've been working on a lot of mental health and learning a lot about different forms of mental health. And man, I didn't know there, I mean, like I knew, but damn, there's a lot. A lot. And when I listen to podcasts or watch YouTube videos, I get a little triggered because you forget that you have so many lived experiences and so many things that you've done and gone through. And I'm like, holy cow, I do have body dysmorphia. Oh, I did have an eating disorder. Oh, I was this, and oh, I experienced this, or oh, there's a different kind of this, or there's complex PTSD and PTSD. I didn't know I had complex PTSD. I thought I just had PTSD. But like I have both. And it's just like, damn. So when you're doing research and you're trying to understand it, it does help to understand it better. It does help to recognize things differently. It does help to use the tools that they suggest for you to work on that part of, that part of your mental health. And it's, like I said before, it's a journey, it's a process. And it doesn't 100% go away, but you get better at it. Just like there was a time in your life that you got better at hiding your feelings. Just like there was a time in your life that you got better at masking what you were going through. Just like that, you will find a way to deal with your life in a healthier way, and you will find a way to learn how to manage it to where it's not affecting you internally the way it used to at one point. And for that, I am grateful. I am blessed. I've had a really good amount of amazing people in my life, especially for the last few years, where I'm so appreciative, grateful, blessed, and they're genuinely kind people that have lived experiences as well. So they're there for me, and it's nice. It's nice to know that I've been there for them and they've been there for me, especially when there was a time that I always thought that I was there for more people than what were there for me. And this was a moment where I thought, wow, I'm really lucky and I'm blessed. So stay safe, love yourself, be kind to yourself, be patient with yourself, have an amazing rest of your week. And I will see you guys on the flip side. No, I'm kidding. I will see you guys next week. Yeah. Bye.